Well, hello and welcome to episode number 64 of the Daily Sales Message, where each and every single day for at least the last 64 days in a row now, we've provided you with a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. If you're new around here, my name is James Newell. I teach people how to sell for a living, and for me it comes in two distinct parts. It starts with having a clear sales message, so people understand exactly what you're trying to sell to them. And then it leads into selling confidence, the ability to be relaxed and comfortable and confident in a selling situation. In this episode, number 64, we're talking about this, ignoring buying signals. Ignoring buying signals. I speak to lots of clients and students who spend so long being rejected and so long worrying about selling to people that when people are making themselves known, they just ignore it. It's a bit like when you can't realize that somebody is flirting with you or somebody fancies you. For everybody else, it's really obvious what's going on, but you're none the wiser. And this is a real problem when it comes to buying signals, because you can actually put people off. Because if you're not noticing and validating their buying signal, it can almost come across as a bit arrogant. You don't need them. You don't need their business. But what are buying signals? How do we know if somebody's going to want to buy from us? Well, there's no real hard and fast rule, but there is a principle that I work to, a philosophy that I have, and it comes down to this. Buyers want details, non-buyers want space. Buyers want details, non-buyers want space. If somebody's asking you specific questions about costs and deliverables and timescales and proof and this and that, specific details, that's a really good indication that they're interested, and we need to treat that accordingly and move the conversation forward. If they're not asking you specific things and they're hinting that they want you to send some information or we need to rebook an appointment or this and that, whatever, if they're indicating they want space more than they want details, then maybe they're not interested. So, buyers want details, non-buyers want space. If somebody is asking you specific questions about your offering and how it works and the timescales, etc., those are specific buying questions. They're displaying buyer intent, and you need to behave accordingly. If you don't pick up on those signals and you continue to talk to them like you don't think they're going to buy, which, let's be honest, for a lot of people, that's the default way we enter the conversation, because we've had such a terrible time trying to sell to people in the past. So if we don't notice those things, don't validate them, it can be really off-putting to the buyer, because the buyer doesn't want to have to throw themselves onto you. They want you to lead the conversation, say, oh, James, okay, here's the answer to your question, blah, blah, blah. How does that sound to you? Would you like to go ahead? Yada, yada, yada. But taking it towards a close, a conversion conversation. So many people I meet don't understand this principle of buyers want details, non-buyers want space. But now, thanks to the Daily Sales Message, you know exactly what you're looking for. As soon as somebody gets specific in their questioning, that's an indication that they're worth pursuing. Well, that's it for this episode of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow, in episode number 65, a similar kind of sin, a similar kind of issue that a lot of clients and students have. And when I say students, I'm referring to, of course, UCL students, Birkbeck students, people at MIT. I do lots of work in universities and other organizations. But there's a problem lots of them have, and it's something they don't do. They don't do in a selling conversation, and they really should do. They really need to do it if they want to sell and move forward. But you have to tune in tomorrow to check that out. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, then feel free to reach out, connect, shoot me a DM. Tell me what you like about the Daily Sales Message. I mean, hey, tell me what you don't like. Ask me a question, connect with me. Always really nice to hear from my listeners who are predominantly from America, UK, and Australia. But there's literally about 15 different countries on my little Spotify for Podcasters list of where my audience is located. So there's lots of people around the world that listen to the podcast. It just blows my mind. So what an amazing thing. I'm reaching lots of people with a great positive message, and I love what I do. Right, going to get all emotional now. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. See you tomorrow for episode number 65 of the Daily Sales Message.